If you'll come in and find your seat in a beautiful November day. And it's good. I like it chilly. Let's all stand and look around and see if there's somebody you haven't met, and please say hello to them. And huh? There's a test afterwards. Yeah, good, Jeff. I like it. Good, good, good. Welcome. Glad to have, we'll get officially started in just a moment, but glad to have Claudia with us from Covington. And some of you haven't met Chelsea's girlfriend, Kara. We're glad that she's here. And always glad to have Doc in the house, who's here with Francis. And Jared surprised me this morning with Meredith, so he's here today. And I see Jonah walking in too. Awesome. This morning, Ken woke up. He was like really, really excited about something. I said, "What is it?" He said, "I had this amazing dream that we had this house and a fireplace, and all of our kids were there, and it was Christmas morning, and your granddaughters were playing with my granddaughter and everything." And he was like so happy about it. I said, so today we pulled in. He said he always spots everybody's vehicle long before I do. He said, "That's Jared. Jared's coming today." I said, "Well, maybe your dream's coming true, or maybe who knows what other of our progeny may show up today." So excellent. And I haven't met Jonah's guest, but we're glad whoever you are, we're glad that you came. Welcome. And let's see. I think I mentioned everybody that's your beautiful granddaughter's here. It's Kayla. All right. Like you didn't know. Thank you. Your name is. You have to pardon me. No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say at my age, that's not true. With the amount of people that I know, when I say it that way, you have to give me. Last night we were having dinner somewhere, and somebody came up to the table, and I was like, "Kid, you remember him?" I told him, I said, "Anybody that ever approaches us, if I don't introduce you, it's because I'm running through the Rolodex in my head while we're talking, especially when they're telling me anecdotes of experiences we've had together that I have absolutely no recollection of." So there's that. So anyway, enough of that. Please remain standing. Let's roll the intro and we'll get officially started. Oh, come on in. We also have a new outro this morning too, so hang on for that. I love this music. Doss has already found a new chant to it. I'm laughing big, and something was really funny. Good morning, welcome, buenos dias, bonjour, willkommen. Glad that you are here. It's a beautiful day in November. I'll say more about this later. Sorry, say later in the show, later in the service. But we are doing our Thanksgiving celebration next door today, and you're all welcome. And I'll give you instructions about that. But if you want to walk over there with us, we would love to have you. I have loved everything that Chelsea's done this month. It's just been great. And she's definitely a keeper. I've got her number. This will not be the last time that you see her here. And so glad it worked out that she not only could be here this month, but be here all 5 Sundays, and she's great. And I know today will be no exception. Would you please welcome the legendary Chelsea Shag. Chelsea!
I'm going to start out with something smooth and jazzy. Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast. This is the beyond road. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see the beyond road. When you kiss me, angels say from up above. Every day I seem to turn into love songs. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be the beyond road. When you kiss me, angels sing from up above, and every day words seem to turn into love songs. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be love beyond road. Thank you. Thanks. That's a lovely song. I like when Louis does it. Hold me close, hold me fast. I was gonna do it like that, but I changed my mind. You and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back. When there is love, I'll be there. I'll reach out my hand to you. I have faith in all you do. Just call my name, I'll be there. I'll be there to comfort you, build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad that I found you. I'll be there with love this strong. I'll be your strength. I keep holding on, holding on. If you should ever find someone new, I hope they better be good to you. 'Cause if he isn't, now be there to protect you with an all-selfless love that respects you. And just call my name, I'll be there. I'll be there to comfort you, build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad that I found you. I'll be there with love that's strong. I'll be your strength. I keep holding on, holding on. Holding on, holding on. Just call my name, I'll be there. Ooh, 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 I'll be there. I'll be there. Just call my name, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Thank you, guys. All right, for this last one, I'm gonna get a little funky, a little more, spicy. Clock strikes upon the hour and the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how to chase my blues away. I've done alright up till now. It's a light of day that shows me how. So when the night falls, my lonely heart goes. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, and I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. I fell in love and lost my senses, spinning through the town. Sooner or later, the fever ends, and I wind up feeling down. I need a man who would take a chance on a love that burns hot enough to last. So when the night falls, my lonely heart calls. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, and I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat. Yeah, and I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Somebody who loves me. Somebody who to hold me in his arms. I need a man who'll take a chance on a love that burns hot enough to last. So when the night falls, feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat. Yeah, I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who knows me. Don't you wanna dance? Say you wanna dance. Don't you wanna dance? Don't you wanna dance? Say you wanna dance. Don't you wanna dance? Don't you wanna dance? Say you wanna dance. Don't you wanna dance? With somebody who loves me.
Hey!
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Chelsea Shag! I love it. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Can't go wrong with Jackson 5 and Whitney. Not with this crowd. You may be seated. Excellent, excellent. And because November has 5 weeks, Chelsea will be with us one more week, so we appreciate that. Yep. And then next month, Marshall Ruffin will be back. And I texted him yesterday. I said, I'm just making sure we remember your next month. He said, I got it. I said, okay, just want to make sure. Let me see if all the things I need to remind you of. We went last week to the installation service for Rehoboth. Ken and Avery and I went, and man, those people are serious about church. We got there. I mean, the place was packed, and then all the clergy were there, all vested out, and so actually that was fortuitous because I got just as they were marching in, I got to see Bishop Flunder and Pastor Troy, so that was great. So they knew we were there. I don't know if any of you have Pentecostal roots like I do, but these people are uber Pentecostal. I mean, like on the first song, they're running the aisles, and I thought, boy, this is a flashback, a blast from the past. Anyway, great. It goes. We were there nearly 2 hours, I think, and I'm looking at the program. Like if it's 20 things on there, we're only on number 2, and I'm like, oh Lord, I may not. I love y'all and all, but I might not make it. So somebody got up to pray, and it was one of those really long prayers. I could tell when she started praying for missionaries in China. I thought, well, we've just about covered it all. So I nudged Ken. I said, we're about to make a break. So we did, and I left the check with actually somebody used to come to Midtown Church. She's lost so much weight I didn't recognize her. I was thinking, where do I know you from? But she's on staff there now, which is great. And so I inboxed Pastor Troy the next day. I said, just so you know, I said, I left a check like I told you. And he said, oh yeah, you didn't get my voicemail, which I hadn't. He said, no, we're already constructing a letter of thanks to you. Avery said they cashed it the next day. So, and I know what it's like when you're starting the church, like you cash them checks quick, Jesus. But so anyway, that was good. And I went ahead, our outreach next month was Virginia Highland Church. And I went because I had told them we were going to do that in conjunction with the pastor's event there the other night. I went ahead and took that check to them. So, and I'm David, the guy that always worked with us when we used to rent the place, he was there. So I got to have a moment with him. So that was really, really good. Charles wanted me to show you this event. By the way, the tech team is half a number of what they usually are. So, by the way, Michelle, the disco ball with Want to Dance Somebody, that was a nice touch. I don't know where you found that, but Chelsea, I don't know if you see, but you have visual effects behind you as you're singing. Yeah, if you look on the on my blog, and you'll see, well, or on YouTube, but like there was a large rose behind you on Laville Rose. Yeah, we don't play at Metron. We do it right. Anyway, so oh yeah, this was an event in Covington, and Doss was at it, but she was off somewhere. She didn't make it in the pictures, but that's Erin. That's Charles's wife. Some of you that don't know, because so you were it was like a feeding the community thing. Okay, well that's cool. Oh, that's Beth. All right, there's a Metronite, and cool. Doss is somewhere causing trouble. So anyway, that was good. We want to let you know that there is constant outreach going on at all times. I'll tell you more about what we're going to do today for Thanksgiving, but remember our Christmas event is Wednesday, December 16th. It's going to be at La Maison Rouge. That's in Paris-on-Ponce. Totally easy to find. I'll give you directions, everything. We're going out of pocket to do it, but I want to make sure that it's a great experience for you. So we're having valet parking. You'll need to tip them and everything, but we're going to that extra expense. But I would rather do that than try to explain to you where to park on streets that you don't know. So if you've never valeted, it's about time y'all take it up a notch. And some of you are like, I ain't valeting, I'm parking my car. No, you're not. You're going to valet that night, and you're going to have some class, and you're going to tip them is what you're going to do. Upgrade. It's time to go next level. As I told you, Paris-on-Ponce is like it's not an antique store. It's like a whole, I don't know how you describe it, retail space where there are a lot of different vendors who sell really unusual, interesting stuff, including antiques. So when you come in, you'll walk through, they have an art gallery, you'll walk through that, then you'll walk through you might even want to go shop a little bit. You'll have plenty of time to do that. They're going to have the back door open there at the place so you can walk out onto the Beltline, those of you who have never seen that. It's right across the bridge from Ponce City Market. So if you're curious about that, if you want to go over and check that out, the old Sears building. So it's going to be a really great event. We have the place from, what are we saying? We're saying 7:30, I believe is what we said, 7. We're going to be there, but we have it till around midnight. So the reason we're doing it this way this year, instead of just having a sit down dinner, that way whatever time you get there will be fine. And there's going to be when Zest Catering does hors d'oeuvres, they're like, it's not crackers and peanut butter. I mean, it's really slamming. And I don't know what he's doing, but Dana has concocted a special beverage called the George Bailey for that evening. But you'll have to drink that one early in the evening and make sure it wears off before you drive home now. But anyway, it's going to be a great night. So make sure that's on your calendar. Also, we have these available. I will not put this on my head because it would mess up my hair, but my husband, this is not a problem for him. We have the new Metron ball caps. So Ken, if you would come and model them. They are very, very cool. It may not be adjusted to your size, but the cap that Ken is now modeling for us are available. And we also have them in visor. We'll just pull it back a little bit.
Huh? It's too big.
No, put it back on. I'll show you. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. You know, it's supposed to look like that. There you go. It's good. So thank you for that's the new Metron ball cap, and if you want those, they'll be back there at the that thing back there. Oh my God, there's more of my children coming in. What is happening? Did y'all plan this? I'm taking y'all to dinner tomorrow night. Oh. Hey, my daughter and my granddaughters just walked in. Lovely. Now this is y'all making Judah look bad. Oh, he may be minute. Oh, have y'all seen? Did y'all see the clip? Oh, you did. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, Yeah, I'm on the trailer. I didn't know. And you forget when you're, the things that you say casual because they got a clip of me going, one thing's for sure, Christians hate gay people. I thought, oh, well, that's what I'm going to be known for. Thank you. So there's that. I mean, it's a little bit of an overstatement, but hey, look at you. Hello, darling. Where did Sophia go? She's somewhere. Oh, she's back. She's probably running a camera. Sophia she's an award-winning chess player. She can tell you all about Greek mythology and wants to be a paleontologist. She's now reading Popular Science magazine. Makes it a little challenging. What do you buy you don't buy My Little Pony for that little girl. And Olivia is coming right along. Olivia was reading before she got into kindergarten and is an excellent artist. And she's slamming. They're just both exceptional young ladies. So cute. All right, well, good. Now y'all are still coming to dinner tomorrow night. This doesn't pre. Oh, okay. But tomorrow night we're still good, right? Okay. This doesn't preempt tomorrow night because there'll be trouble with this. Sorry, well, I'm having. Okay. Oh, this is a handoff of Uncle Jared. Okay, got it. So your event went. I'm sorry. Let me talk to my kids for a minute. Your event went well last night. Maybe. A lot of people say they know me, and are you talking about David Van Cronkite? Oh, they were there? What the what? I thought he was in California. Because you were seeing if he was available, but you didn't know he was gay. So yes, he and Sydney have been together for a long time. I don't think they're planning on switching teams. Yes, DJ is very handsome. You're right. Sorry, those of you that are streaming. I'll be back with you in just a moment. I was just talking to my kids. So there's that. Let's see. Was there anything else I needed to tell you? I think that is everything. You want to come up here? There's a seat for you up here. After I gave you that big. Don't be reading a book while I'm preaching. You better listen to Poppy. What are you reading? And you're halfway through it? Of course, you probably started it this morning. All right. This month we're talking about success on the journey of self-discovery. I've got a few things I want to show you. I've got some scriptures I want to show you and some quotes. But I want to particularly bring it into the idea of gratitude because obviously this week is Thanksgiving. And regardless of how politically correct you are about the first Thanksgiving, the fact is it's an awesome thing that we have a tradition where one day is set aside as a federal holiday that is just for the giving of thanks. And I know this is real Oprah-ish to do this, but I really want to. I haven't done it yet, but I'm thinking about starting one on Thanksgiving Day, starting a gratitude journal. I don't know if you've ever done it, but just getting a journal and just start writing down everything that you're grateful for. You'd be amazed at how much good is in your life. I know everybody's going through something challenging, but I promise you, if you sit down and list it, the good is so far outweighing the bad. The bad sometimes makes a lot more noise. And I don't think the bad really is the bad. I think the bad is what hasn't matured into the good yet. I think eventually everything will become the good. And if it looks bad, it just isn't over with yet. And gratitude helps mature that thing until it becomes a blessing in your life. And so I love Thanksgiving, and I'm sure tomorrow night when I'm with my kids, well, I'm going to do an early Thanksgiving with them because Jared and Christina are flying out to be with their mom, and Judah and Jonah are going to do something with their mom, and so I don't care what day it is. I want to observe it sometime this week, and but it's a tradition of ours to go around the table and say what you're thankful for, and I would encourage you to do that same thing. And we do have a lot to be grateful for. I was watching the news again this morning, and I've watched so much about the terrorism thing that I have to make myself stop watching it, because I got to have a 10-minute break from this. But I want to say this about that. I'm probably going to do a little video about it this month or this week. Religious intolerance is the root of so much evil in the world. And I've heard several people say, well, Christians, they're not terrorists like Muslims. Well, hold the phone there. I don't know if you know about your Christian history, but the Spanish Inquisition was exactly the same thing, where the Catholic Church took, and I'm not slamming Catholics. I'm saying this was the church at the time, beheaded people for not confessing Jesus. And even the term, it's a term I grew up with. Every time we used to have a revival, they called it a crusade. But a crusade is actually a really kind of a negative term, because the Crusades literally, they were Christian soldiers who would go and burn synagogues down with people in them. And if you ever go to the Holocaust Museum in DC, there's a little place where they show the beginning of anti-Semitism as it's related to Christianity. And when Martin Luther nailed his 95 Thesis to the Wittenberg door, he believed that, and that's what we started the Protestant church. That's what Protestant means, is protesting the Roman church. But he believed that all the Jews would become Christians. And when they didn't, he switched gears on that and said they all should be exterminated. And he was from the same hometown that Hitler was from a generation later. And if you have a Lutheran background, I'm not dissing Lutherans, I'm just saying that was not removed from the Lutheran ideology, at least what was written down, until the mid-90s. So that was still existentially in people's mind that the infidels must die. Now you say, well, we're more civilized, that we're not like ISIS or whatever. Well, let me tell you, when I look at Facebook and I see Christians so furious with non-Christians, even yesterday, Ken went to a friend of his parents passed away, and he went to her funeral. And the old guy that was, again, it was one of those things where the funeral wasn't about the woman that died. It was, if you're not a Christian, you're going to hell. He said it over and over again. All non-Christians are going to hell. And I thought, if you ratchet that up just a few more points, you're a terrorist, because it's the same thing. Like if your belief system doesn't jibe with mine, you're not only wrong, you have to be exterminated. And so it's complicated. I hear both sides of the argument about how we should deal with it. There's a part of me that's wanting to call the president and say, get some troops on the ground right now, let's wipe them out. But I also know his hesitancy, because we're still involved in 2 wars that came from 9/11 that still hasn't. So it's easy to say what you would do if you were in that place, but thankfully you're not. Thankfully I'm not. But little steps do make a difference. And at least if you can just be more tolerant, tolerance doesn't mean you have to water down your beliefs. Tolerance is not compromising what you believe. You have the right to believe and practice. And I'm getting to my topic here, but it has to do with gratitude. When you got your hands full, don't you? Did Kenny give you gum? Oh, it's not you. You got snacks. Pardon me, those of you that are streaming. I'm talking to my granddaughters now. But the idea is, believe what you believe. But I hear so many Christians talk about they don't understand what separation of church and state is. Separation of church and state is a good thing. I don't want a state mandated religion. And for those people who think the founding fathers were these Christian guys that were trying to start a Christian country. No, that's what they knew. But their whole ideology, even though at the time they meant white European men, but the idea after, women and people of color said, excuse me, that we want the pursuit of happiness too. And they went, oh, my bad. So that's, so we got that going on. But the point is, that was the whole reason why they came over on the Mayflower, is nobody can tell us what we have to believe. We want to believe because we want to believe. Now, I know you all know this, but I'm telling you, I look at, sweet Jesus, I look at some of the stuff that even people I know and love post on Facebook, and I think, did you ever listen to anything I ever said? Or where is your sense of reason? And where is the idea that there can be an exchange of ideologies without hating one another? I mean, I can, if you're conservative or liberal, I can hear both your points and completely agree with you on a lot of things. To me, it's not an either or thing, and it's certainly not if you don't agree with me, you must die. And so I'm not just calling people terrorists. I'm saying it's all a matter of degree. And so any little thing you can do to bridge the gap and make people a little more tolerant of one another, it's like the butterfly effect. It really does have far-reaching ramifications. Now, having said that, let me show you my first scripture. Please. This is 1 Corinthians 13:12, and out of the Amplified. I love this. We talked about it a few weeks ago. I remember Rosalind and I discussed it a little bit, but this is where in the King James he says, now we know in part, but then shall we know even as also we are known. In the Amplified Bible, it says it this way. It says, for now we are looking in a mirror that gives only a dim or blurred reflection of reality, as in a riddle or enigma. But then when perfection comes, we shall see in reality and face to face. Now I know in part or imperfectly, but then I shall know and understand fully and clearly, even in the same manner as I have been fully and clearly known and understood by God. Sorry, I meant to take the letters out of there. This is important when we talk about self-discovery, when we talk about gratitude. Not only are you awesome, you don't even realize how awesome you are. And this isn't some platitude of just telling you everything you've ever done is great. You are not the sum total of everything you've ever done. You are an individual. And when he says here, now I know in part, but then I'll know as I am known. In other words, from heaven's viewpoint, you're a really big deal, a much bigger deal than you realize. I remember, some of y'all know Betty Mario, that I saw him the other day at Saunders service. And it was funny because Mario came up to me at the Methodist church there and he said, we're leaving in the morning for Honduras. And I said, Mario, how many years have you stood in a place telling me I'm leaving for some Latin American country? I said, 30 years of me saying, have a safe trip, because they're out of the country a good bit. Mario's kind of like the Zig Ziglar of Latin America. And a lot of people at Church of the Now never knew that. I didn't fully get it until the first time I went on a trip with him. But we landed somewhere, and Betty and Mario were just, a sweet couple that people at the church loved and joked around with, but they didn't see him that much. This limo meets us at the airport. People are throwing flowers. It was like the Messiah had just come. People are lining up telling me of healings that had happened. Mario prayed for me. And I'm seeing this whole other reality about him, that not that I didn't know he was, a very enlightened man. I had no idea he was that celebrated. He back when it was called Amway. I think it's called Amway again now. But he was the only diamond in Latin America, and I went with him to Guatemala and Colombia and all these places, and we'd have like he would just say, this is my pastor and he's speaking tomorrow, something, and there'd be like 1,500 people there in a few hours, and I would come back home and I thought, boy, people at church have no idea, who he is. I'm saying that to say you could be sitting next to somebody, you have no idea, how celebrated they are. Like a lot of you, if you came here and if you didn't hear Chandra sing, Chandra's not walking around telling you that she's. I was watching some movie this week that I didn't forgot that she was. It was another Tyler Perry joint, but I forgot she was in it. It was. It's the one where she played his mother in the stage version of it, but somebody else played it in this one. But Chandra's in the choir. I'm sitting there watching the movie this week, and I thought, oh my God, I forgot she's in this movie. You wouldn't know that otherwise, but I'm taking it to a whole other level. You're that same person. You say, well, I'm not in the movie. No, but heaven already looks at you as a celebrity. Heaven already looks at you as an accomplished individual. And this is why you really have to come from the vantage point of saying, I don't think I'm better than you, but you have no idea who I am. And I may not have any idea who you are. When it says here, now we see in a mirror dimly, in other words, we're looking at our reflection and gradually we're beginning to see God in us is what's happening. We're beginning to see the attributes of God. As I get older, I can definitely see that I am my Father's son. I was telling Chelsea and Kara as Jared walked in and said, if you want to see exactly what I looked like 25 years ago, there it is. I don't know what he's going to look like 25 years from now, but thank you. Were you going after it? My bud. How did you have water to hand to me with as full as your hands are? That's multitasking. Anyway, as I get older, I definitely see, like if I ever shave the hair off my face, I'm like, whoa, there's Jimmy Swilley. And I don't mean this Jimmy, I mean that brother Swilley. Like, I feel like I want to speak in that voice of his. Hey mom, I know you're watching. But on a larger scale, that is what is happening to us. And it's why you need to respond with gratitude to everything that occurs, because as cliche as it is, it really is true. Whatever doesn't break you does make you. And with everything that you come through, you think, oh my God, that thing's going to kill me. No, it's going to reveal God in you. Let me show you this quote here. I love me some Emerson. He says, cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. Now, listen, that's big. That doesn't mean that you have to like everything that happens to you. It means that you translate it into something positive by being grateful for it. You look back on it and say, all right, that thing that I thought was going to kill me actually revealed who I really am. You don't know what you're made of until you go through some stuff. And when there's a confidence that comes from surviving a few things where you walk away and the explosion's behind you and you brush yourself off, well, my God, if that one didn't kill me, I'm pretty much good to go. And it's why, remember when David went to face Goliath and Saul tried to talk him out of it? He said, look, all I can tell you is I was a shepherd. I was watching the sheep. And one day a lion came out and challenged me, and I killed the lion. And another day a bear came and I killed the bear. And I just believe that the same God that delivered me from the paw of the bear and from the lion will also deliver me from this Philistine. And so he rehearsed his past victories. And that's where your confidence comes from. Well, if that didn't kill me, through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. You get through some stuff and you actually, in a weird kind of way, make peace with it through the gratitude. Like, well, I wouldn't have wished this on my worst enemy, but it happened and I got through it and I'm stronger and better because of it. So guess what? All things really did work together for my good, and it really is all good. And if it's not a blessing yet, it just means it's not over with yet. And my gratitude is going to translate every negative thing into a positive. It gives you a kind of a patience where you go, I can sit this one out until this becomes a blessing. And it doesn't look like a blessing yet, Pearls don't look like pearls when they start. If you want to believe in literal gates of pearl for heaven, I have no issue with that. If that brings you comfort, that's fine. But let me tell you what John really meant when he had a vision of gates of pearl. The pearl comes from the oyster. The oyster gets a grain of sand in its membrane. The oyster doesn't have a way to expectorate. He can't eliminate it, and it's painful. If you ever look at a grain of sand under a microscope, it's like glass. It's like a sharp-edged thing, and so the oyster has this irritant, and because it can't get rid of it, it secretes kind of a slime around it to be able to deal with it. And as the current of the water flows through its shell and rolls it around, it becomes this round thing. So when you see a string of pearls, you're seeing a string of pain that became something beautiful. And really, just about all the precious gems are like that. I mean, coal becomes a diamond. They all start out as something that doesn't look. I mean, for Christmas, ladies, you wouldn't want somebody to give you, look at these beautiful coal earrings that my husband got me. Yeah, they leave a little residue on my. I try not to wear a white blouse with it because the coal really makes a mess. But it's coal. Well, it's not finished yet. A coal eventually will become a diamond. Coal is unprocessed diamonds. And so everything, I mean, when you develop this attitude, there's going to always be somebody somewhere that thinks you're out of touch with reality, that you're a Pollyanna, that you got your head in the sand, that you don't realize how bad things are. And you're going to always have to encounter those people. Because let me tell you something, when your mama told you that misery loves company, she was telling the truth. Misery really does love company. And when people are not happy with their life, they're very unhappy that you're unhappy with yours. So you have to say, I know you don't get it. And I've been through some stuff and I got the scars to prove it. But I wouldn't change anything in my life. Let me tell you, until you get to the place that you would not rewrite anything in your story, you still have not triumphed yet. I mean, until you can say, I look at my life story, I wouldn't edit anything. Everything negative that happened, even if it appeared negative, it was something that I learned. It's something that made me better. So it's all good. When people ask me certain things, like if you could change this about your life, whatever, no, I wouldn't change anything. I have absolutely no regrets, because if I hadn't been through everything I've been through, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I would not have the message that I have. So I don't want to put it, I can look back on every event of my life and see it as a blessing. It's not a negative at all. That's why I want to show you this third thing. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:18 in the Jonathan Mitchell New Testament. And it says, this is where in King James it says, in everything give thanks. Here he says, within the midst of everything, be continuously giving thanks. In union with all people, be habitually expressing the goodness of grace and the well-being from favor. For this is God's intent, will, and purpose unto you in Christ Jesus, proceeding into the midst of you folks in union with the anointed Jesus. Now, he didn't say necessarily for everything give thanks as much as he said in everything give thanks. So what that's saying is whatever you're, like you say, well, I got this disease. I'm not thankful that I got the disease. No, you're not thankful for it. You're thankful in it. And it's the gratitude that gives you the strength to overcome it. So many situations with people I know that because they had one situation going on in their body and they went in for a checkup, they found out they had something else. And if it hadn't been for that initial thing, they would have never found out about the other big thing they really didn't need to know about. So it turned out to be a blessing. I mean, it happens all the time. I remember the first house that Debbie and I bought in Conyers. It was a new house and no issue with it at all. And we hadn't lived there very long and found out that, and we got a termite letter when we first moved in, but something happened. We had to have something else repaired. And whoever it was says, are you aware that you've got some termite damage? And we're like, this is a new house. How could we possibly? And it cost me some money I was not prepared to pay. But I was actually grateful that it happened, because I'm sitting up there watching TV, laying on my couch in my nice new house, having no idea that I'm about to fall through the floor, which would have really sucked. I would really been, sorry, would have really been a negative experience. And so when that guy first told me that, I thought, man, do not tell me this. But then I thought, you know what? Actually, this is a blessing. If I hadn't called him out to repair this other thing, I would have, the termites was the last thing. I mean, it was a new house. I was thinking, well, we got a termite letter. We're good. Look, if you got a new house, still check for termites, even if they gave you the letter. All I'm saying is if, you know, Proverbs says wisdom cries in the street. And sometimes when somebody tells you something, I mean, I through all my years of buying and selling houses, I learned so much. One time we were going to buy this house. It was a lease purchase. And I went there to meet the agent. And the guy that was living there walked out of the car and he said, are you interested in buying this house? And I said, yeah, we're waiting to meet the agent. And he said, look, I have no reason to tell you this, but can I show you some reasons why you don't want to buy it? And at first I was like, I bind you, devil, and you're not going to steal this house from me. But just quickly I thought, you know what? This is the Holy Spirit maybe. And he said, let me just show you a couple of things. And he showed me some structural damage that my untrained eye would have never noticed. I mean, I'm walking in thinking, I like the color scheme. It looks good. It smells good in here. You know, I mean, that's not, I don't know about that stuff. And as he was showing me, I mean, I heard the inner voice say, I am saving you from a really bad situation. Now, initially, it seemed like a negative, but it turned out, wow, that's really a positive. I'm telling you, you might not see it right now. And this is going to be a strong statement, but there is no negative in your life. You say, Bishop, you don't know what I'm going through. I know there's very little that people can go through that I haven't experienced enough in life I can at least empathize with a little bit. And there are things that are horribly painful. Divorce is horrible, and losing a loved one is horrible, and getting fired from your job. There's so many things that people go through. But when you get past it, and you will, you can remember these 5 amazing words from the scripture, and it came to pass. Not, and it came to stay. And sometimes it just seems like this thing's never going to get any better. This thing's taking an eternity, but it will pass. You will get to the other side of it. I'm not saying there aren't things that aren't going to scar you. There are some scars you will probably carry for the rest of your life, but you will learn to live in gratitude. And for whatever, you will get to look at it and say, wow, that divorce was really painful, but now instead of me looking at the divorce, I want to look at the years I had with that person. And I'm going to be thankful for that. At least I had that. If I may quote Dr. Seuss, who said, don't cry that it's over, smile that it happened. And that's very valuable. If you've experienced certain things in life, like when somebody says to me, what's your 5-year plan for Metron? I'm like, baby, I'm not really into 5-year plans right now. I accomplished a lot of my goals. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but drive out there on I-20. We did the amazing, and I'm proud of it, and I love it. I'm more about living in the now. I'm not saying I don't have a vision, but I already did vision and accomplished, a lot of the things I wanted to accomplish. I'm sort of in a different space now where I want to put good out there, and good is very connected to gratitude. And when you put it out there in the universe, it is a sowing and reaping principle. The more you are just grateful, the more you attract into your life things for which to be grateful. Just like this morning, I woke up and I thought, I'm so grateful it's not raining today. I mean, I would have come anyway, but it's so much nicer to drive over here when it's clear blue skies. And we're looking at the trees. Kim was saying, look how beautiful these trees still are in November. I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful I'm not colorblind. I'm grateful that just every little thing. Like, I'm grateful that I can enjoy this. I get here and I'm, wow, look at these beautiful people that came out to see what I had to say today. I'm grateful for you. I never take you for granted. And so if people say, well, do you want more? Sure. But I'm so grateful for what I have now that, yeah, you could put a cherry on the cake, but the cake's already delicious and it was good before it got iced even. I was happy just licking the beaters, whatever those things are called. I never knew. My mom never baked, so I never. Sorry, Mom, you didn't. But well, I was at my grandmother's one night. My mom had other talents; she did other things. But baking, she didn't aspire to be a great baker, so she's not insulted that if I say that. But my grandmother was in the kitchen, and I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm making a cake." I said, "I never heard of that concept before." I said, "What you're gonna make a cake? I mean, cakes come from the store. Cakes come from the bakery." She says, "No, I'm going to make it." I mean, I was just amazed. I was watching her crack the eggs, and she knew. She'd baked some meat cakes in her life. She wasn't looking at a recipe book. She's throwing stuff in, and I was amazed. And then this thing happened. She's like, "There's little beaters in the blender." She said, "Do you want to lick these?" I said, "What is that?" She goes, "It's the batter." I said, "I thought you were making a cake." She says, "Well, it's going to be a cake, but this is what it's going to taste like." And I said, "Okay." And when I put that to my tongue, it was like the angel sang. I was like, "Ah." I said, "Where has baking a cake been all of my life?" And then it just got better. Like she baked it, and I'm looking at it in the oven, and it was hot. One of those old fashioned Southern pound cakes, that are real buttery. And I was like, "Oh my God." Now, would it have been better with some ice cream on it? I guess. But I'm telling you, I was like really happy with the batter. If that was all there was, I'd have been like, this is an incredible experience as is. And I kind of feel like all of life is licking the batter. I mean, it's already amazing. Like, wouldn't you be happy if there were 1,000 people in here? Yeah, but I'm happy right now. I'm happy that you showed. I mean, I'd be mad if nobody was here. But if somebody shows up, I'm like, okay, we got a quorum. We can make this happen. And then, the way we've got it set up now, I love it because in the week I'll go and look at how many people streamed, and I consider, well, that's all who was there. And then, nearly every day of the week somebody's given online, so there's not this 10-minute period where like, oh my God, if you don't give in this offering right now, it's like, no, you can give whenever. You can do like Brenda said. Brenda had some money. She said, I gave online then because I knew if I waited to Sunday to give it, I've already spent it, Jesus. And I said, you let the Lord use you, sister. And but I love that. So I'm in a constant state of gratitude. I love everything about it. It's like, let me show you this. This is a little bit long quote, but it's a good one. We all gain our energy from inward and outward qualities. Energy is gained by how we interact with others in society and our environment. This energy can be positive or negative, depending on its source and our most basic perceived and conditioned needs. When we react through ego, many times unknowingly, we care what other people think and base our self-esteem on elements in life that are not fixed or permanent, like money, objects, and effluent. I had to look up effluent. Effluent is like, that's the water that flows out of a sewage plant. So effluent friends are like toxic people in your life. You heard me? All right. The common result is suffering. Yet when we exhibit all facets of gratitude in our lives, there is only room for true, authentic energy and dynamism to spring forth. Every act of gratitude is projected out into this responsive universe. I love that phrase, responsive universe. It's everything we talked about in quantum physics. It's the quantum field. It's out there. It's Bert in Mary Poppins drawing the chalk thing, the scenario on the sidewalk, and then jumping into it. You're constantly creating your next reality by your vision, by the words of your mouth. Oh, I love this stuff. Is into the responsive universe, only to return as positive energy and karma, which I know I shouldn't have been happy about this, but it just made me a little happy that the guy that wrote Eye of the Tiger sued Mike Huckabee this week because they played it for Kim Davis getting out of jail. I know I shouldn't have been happy, but it just brought me a little bit of happiness. Like I was just like, karma. I mean, I just put it on Facebook for a little bit. I'm going to take this off because I don't want the negative vibes and I don't want her picture on my page. But I'm just put it there. Let me just for just a minute, and then I'll take it off. Every act of gratitude pushes the ego and its influences farther away from it. Not just as a gay man, but as a songwriter. I like that it makes a statement to say you can't just use somebody's stuff without permission. Mike Huckabee. All right. Every act of gratitude pushes the ego and its influences farther away from intention. The result is genuine, clear, concise actions in life that allow us to live under the warm and healing illumination of self-discovery. I love that quote because it connects gratitude with self-discovery. And basically what it's saying is, the more you are grateful for your life, the more you're going to realize how good your life is, the more you're going to realize who you are. Because the more you realize who you are, the less victimized you feel by your life. If you're going around just always the woe is me, here's the latest thing that's happened to me. I don't know if you know any list people, but I know people that have a list, and every time you talk to them, well, if you say, well, how are you? Oh my God, let me tell you what happened this week. Last week it was really bad. We didn't think it could get any worse, and it's one of those things where outside you're going, oh, and inside you're like, dear God, help me, please get away from this person as quick as I possibly can. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be compassionate. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I posted a thing last week on the blog about how, sometimes it's not even appropriate to try to cheer somebody up. I mean, I can tell you, the week before, there was a lot of emotional things, with Sandra and going to the service and seeing a lot of people that I have unresolved things with. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It put me through a little bit of I walked through the valley a little bit. And I don't like somebody trying to cheer me up when I know what I'm feeling is appropriate response and it's temporary and I'm going to feel some stuff and I'm going to get through it. Proverbs says, he who sings songs to him who is of a heavy heart is like one who takes away a coat in winter. So sometimes it doesn't help you, and it really doesn't help you when somebody tries to tell you that somebody else had it worse. I hate that. Then that just makes me feel crummy for feeling like, great, now I feel depressed and self-absorbed. Thank you. That didn't help. Sometimes it's well, I even posted the scripture, and I know some of you are like, you tell me something I don't know. It says, give wine to him who's of a heavy heart. What it's saying is sometimes just go buy somebody a drink. And if when I say a drink, I'm using, sometimes it's literally a drink. Sometimes it's whatever is cathartic for that person. Instead of just trying to counsel them out of it, the real, well, Jesus wouldn't do that. Excuse me. His first miracle was turning water into wine. So there's a time where, like, Jesus said, I'll be in the heart of the earth 3 days, but I'll be back. So I have learned how to prophesy my own resurrection. If I'm going through something, I'm like, I'm not only going to feel this for a few hours, I'm going to allow myself to feel it. This is appropriate. I'm going to allow myself to feel this. But I also know that because I allow myself to feel it, after a short amount of time, I'm going to be, all right, that's about, pity party's over. I'm boring myself with it. I don't want to, you could tell you're making progress when you're about to tell your negative thing. And inside you're like, dear God, I cannot possibly tell this story one more time. I've on several occasions lately, I've started to say something that was true, that happened. And in the middle of it, I'm like, you know what? I don't even care enough to even tell you about what somebody said. It doesn't even matter. They're doing the best they can with the light they have. God bless them. I might not want to hear from them, but hey, you know what? If that's your convictions, go with God. Namaste. I don't want to have dinner with you, but enjoy yourself. It's all good. And I appreciate that you're true to your convictions. So good for you. You're wrong, but I appreciate your commitment to your wrongness. I'll at least give you that. You have the integrity to stay with a wrong idea. So at least you're not double-minded. All right. This is, I've never quoted the Gospel of Thomas before, and for a lot of Christians, this is controversial because people only respect the canon. I think Fred's familiar with it. It's one of the Gnostic Gospels that there actually were 300 Gospels that were discovered, and the Council of Nicaea narrowed it down to 4, and that's what we have in our canon. But I do like the way this is said. Logion, this just means logos. It's a word for saying. Jesus said, according to Thomas, when you know yourselves, then you will be known. I love that. And you will know that you are the sons of the living Father. In other words, the more evolved you become, it's kind of, Francis, you've posted something, maybe even this morning along these lines. The more you realize who you are, the closer you feel to God. That was your exact words, but it's like self-discovery doesn't make you feel more alienated. It makes you realize, no, I really am. I have God in me, and I'm created from God's DNA. But if you do not know yourselves, then you are in poverty, and you are poverty. That's an interesting idea that real poverty is not knowing what you already have. That's why I know it sounds cliche to say poverty is an attitude, but it really is. I've been without cash before. I've had times in my life where I had to say it's not wisdom that I purchased at this time, but I've never been poor, ever. I've never been poor for a minute in my life. Not according to my bank account, maybe. And even, it was funny because I don't want to just dissect everything I said on that little trailer for the show that Judah's on, but the other thing I said is, when I came out, we lost everything. I thought, well, that's not true. We didn't lose everything. I mean, far from it. I mean, can I have a retake? But that was the moment. It was in the conversation we were in. So I don't know how they're going to edit it. However they edit, I'm in 3 episodes. So however they edit it, just take it with a grain of salt. But the point is no, I didn't lose everything, and I certainly have never had a poverty mentality. I know what it's like to say, maybe I need to wait before I buy that, but that doesn't mean I'm poor. And I know some people that have money and they're poor. That's why you hear about some of these rappers or some of these sports figures that'll make $50 million and then they're poor and bankrupt in a year. You think, how did that happen? Because they're poor. You give them $1 million, it doesn't make them rich. Rich comes from when you change the way you think about abundance and your place in the world. How many times have you heard about somebody winning the lottery and they end up worse off financially than they were? Some people think, well, if I just had $10 million, it would fix everything. No, it wouldn't. Not if this isn't fixed in here. If anything, it would make it worse. One thing is for sure. If you had $10 million, you know what's going to happen that day? Everybody in your world is going to be calling you wanting some of it. One of the main reasons I don't miss having a big building on I-20, because people they still find me on Facebook, but they don't hit me up for money like they used to. Because when I was in that building, everybody assumed I was rolling in dough, and they treated me that way. Yeah. How many times have I heard it? Well, I don't have Jim Swilley money, but well, okay. Because in people's minds, they were like, well, if you could build this, you don't have any. I don't miss that at all, because as soon as people think, you hear somebody gets $1 million. What does somebody always say? I wish they'd give me some of it. Why? Why should they give you some of it? It's not yours. Why is there this feeling of entitlement? I want some of yours. And so I don't mind giving you anything, but I don't like the supposition that I'm just supposed to. So I don't miss, the trappings of being that guy. But I've never been poor for a minute, and I never will be. I remember years ago when it hit me, I thought, I will always have money. I don't know how, but I will always attract money. People will always want to give to me. And I can make a case for I've given for years, and it's, sowing and reaping, and it is, but it's also just attitude. That's why if you give me something, if you notice, I don't argue with you. As you're handing it to me. I'm snatching it from your hands and thank you so much. And some of you have learned to say, remember you put it in that pocket. And some of you who are in here, I will not look at anybody right now, but you know what it's like to say, did you ever cash that check? Like, remind me. That happens very rarely. Usually as you're handing it to me, I'm going to the bank, and it just makes me feel happy to deposit money. Doesn't it just make you feel, it's like having a full tank of gas. Like, there's nothing like your car's washed, you got a full tank of gas, you just made a deposit at the bank. Like, that's a good feeling right there. It's a good feeling to pay your taxes and to pay like I pay estimated taxes and mine are already paid for. I'm not dreading 2016. Mine, because I'm self-employed, mine's already paid. If anything, I'm going to get something back. So I'm not dreading. You say April 15th to me, I'm like, bring it. All right, paid mine. And, you pay your bill. That's a good feeling. But if you don't have prosperity mentality, you could pay everything and still feel like, oh, I'm going to lose it all tomorrow. You can't enjoy it if you think you're going to lose it every minute. Paul said, I learned this. I learned how to be abased. I learned how to abound. And what I learned through it all is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Because I had it and I didn't have it. And I found out I was okay either way. Wow. When you get there, you're free. And that comes with gratitude. Whatever you have, just be grateful that you have it right now. And because if you curse what little you do have, Jesus said, it's not fair, but Jesus said, to them that have, more will be given. To them that have not, it'll be taken away. What's he talking about? He's talking about attitude. So whatever, like anytime I drive my parents to the doctor, whatever, my dad will always give me some cash. He just always does. And I never ask for it or whatever. But the other day, he was getting out of the car and I saw him going through. I said, Dad, you don't have to give me money every time I drive you to the doctor. It's fine. And Mom said, let him do it. He wants to do it. He likes to feel. And I said, fine with me. So now when he hands them, I'm like, thank you. I wish it could have been more. And I always joke. He thinks it's funny when I say it. Sometimes when somebody gives you something, I wish it could have been more. What I say to them is when they give me something, I wish it could have been more. Anyway, let me show you this. Some of you are familiar with Wallace Wattles. He was kind of like one of the fathers of, kind of like a Napoleon Hill kind of guy. He says, learn to pay attention to your body with the relaxed attitude of gratitude, trust, curiosity, and unconditional love, rather than being pushed around by habit, fear, anxiety, social customs, other people's schedules, and other people's ideas about what is good for you. That was worth you driving out for this morning because, and you say, well, what's that got to do with gratitude? If you don't stay in an attitude of gratitude, you are going to be subject to being victimized by other people's agendas. Because if people subliminally think you're not happy with your life, they don't even realize they're doing it, but they're trying to tell you, if you'll just do this, you'll be happy. And they don't know you. They don't know you like that. And like I have found the happier I am with everything in my life, the less people want to tell me what I should do, because it's like deep calls into deep. There's this subliminal thing that they're not picking up on. They're like, well, I don't really need to tell him how to make his life better because he loves his life. Exactly. And I like that he talks about the physicality of it, because if you don't stay in gratitude, like I know what it's like to just be under so much stress that you're sitting in a red light and you're just tensed up and you think, why am I sitting in a strain? It's not going to make me get there any faster. You ever done like if you're running late for something, like maybe if I drive like this, no, you're not going to get there any faster. And if you got there faster, you're going to endanger your life. So you might as well settle down, let them know you're running late, enjoy the music, and you'll get there when you get there. But all that comes back to gratitude and realizing who you are. And people don't even know that they're subliminally picking up on it. And they stop ordering you around and trying to fill in the blanks for you. I'm not saying you should be unteachable. And there's always somebody somewhere that's got a word for you, can add something to your life. I love those people that will say something to you and you think, wow, I'm better for hearing that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. But you will find that people have less opinions about what you should or shouldn't do the more grateful you are. Because you don't realize, even if you don't realize how much you're complaining, if you complain about stuff, people well-meaning want to fix your situation, and the way they want to fix it may not be beneficial to you. Like if somebody thinks, oh, they ought to have somebody in their life, they shouldn't be single. Look, some people are happy being single, and you fix them up with the wrong person. Baby, let me tell all you single people, gay or straight, let me tell you this. It's better to want something you don't have than have something you don't want. I take single any day over being with the wrong person. Yesterday, we were over at Atlantic Station, and there was the Atlanta Gay Men's Course is excellent. That's beautiful. But there was a section of them singing yesterday, and I'm watching those guys walking around, and I don't mean this in any funny way, but many of them are gay stereotypes. We're looking at different guys, and we're just looking at them. We're looking at the way they are and the way they walk and the way their attitude and everything. And if it's one of your people, you can say something about, you know what I mean? It's like, so another people group isn't allowed, but you can say stuff about your people. You know what I'm saying? Whoever your people are. But I was telling Ken, I said, when I look around and I see what's available, not that I wasn't grateful for you, but it makes me think, because and this would have been true gay or straight, being, single at 52. I mean, I came out at 52. It's, at a certain age, it's kind of slim pickings out there. Whatever the people that are still alive, they got some baggage. They've either been married, so you got to deal with all that drama. And then if they've never been married, you're like, what's up with that? I'm gonna, so there's, and again, so, but I said, I look around here, and like if I were single looking for somebody, there's nobody in that crowd that I would even be interested enough to go find out about them. I just have to be single, and I mean, and I would just have to figure out a way to be happy and be single. But I thought, man, not that I wasn't grateful, but I'm just so grateful. Do you know what I mean? And let me tell you, whoever you're with ain't perfect. And if they were, they wouldn't be married to you, because you ain't perfect either. But if they know all your nonsense and they've stayed with you and y'all got a pretty good thing going on, you might want to embrace that and be grateful for it, because there's a lot of people that would trade places with you in a heartbeat. I think about it every year during the holidays, because I don't do as much counseling as I used to, but I used to always get this in counseling appointments during the holidays. Single people would be saying, I just wish I had somebody during the holidays. I just don't want to be alone. I want somebody to hold me on Christmas. I want to kiss somebody on New Year's Eve. And the very next person would be like, if he would just get out of the house, I'd be happy for Christmas. That's all I want for Christmas, is he just get in the car and drive off. I never have to see his sorry again, And you think, wow, it's hard. It's hard for people to find happiness. You know what I mean? And let me tell you this. If you have found any happiness at all, and if happiness for you is being single and living your own life without somebody telling you what to do and taking as long as you want in the bathroom, if that's happiness for you, do you know what I mean? Because if you're living with somebody, that's an issue. If that's happiness for you, then be grateful for your singleness, and people will stop trying to fix you up or asking, have you been out with anybody lately? No, you hate that when somebody's always interrogating you about your love life. None of your business. Get up off me. And that's why I never I'm not anti-family, but that's why I never liked this in church world, where the slogan would be a family reaching other families, because what they're saying is, if you're not a nuclear family, we don't really have a place for you here. And some people a single person. And if you're single and the church keeps saying, we're looking for families, we're reaching families, you're like, well, I guess you're not after me, because it's just me. And I'm not against family, but I'm about people. And that, again, that's what I love. Like, even being there last week at Rehoboth, I totally get their ministry and I celebrate it, and we gave to it. I'm glad that it's there, but that's not what I do. I don't have a gay ministry. I don't want a gay ministry. I want a ministry where people can just tell who they are and be honest. But I don't want to spend all my time with a bunch of gay people. I mean, I don't. That doesn't sound. I want to spend my time with interesting people that contribute to my life that I love, not just because they meet any label at all. That's not the way I see people at all. I do want an environment where people can tell the truth about themselves and know that, there's nothing about you that's going to make us treat you any differently. But having said that, everybody should feel welcome and be happy, and y'all know that. But again, it makes me grateful for Metron, and that's why a lot of people don't tell me this is what you ought to do. Nobody's telling me that, because I'm doing exactly what I want to do. Well, somebody said, well, you should have a praise team. I had a praise team. I don't want to do that. I like Artist of the Month. That's what I like. Well, that girl you have there, she didn't sing nothing about Jesus. She sang, I'll Be There. Don't you be dissing the Jackson 5. How dare you? And we're spiritually mature enough to know that if she was leading worship or somebody else, we'd all be up with our hands up. And if she's singing, I want to dance with somebody, we're like, I want to dance. That's called being mature. I've referred to this before, I'll say it again, but early on we started Metron. Fanny was sitting out in her truck one day, Fannie Mae, and I said, what are you doing? She says, I'm listening to my praise and worship music before I come in. And I don't know that you've missed a Sunday since we started. You've been here just about every week. And I thought, wow, that's really mature of her, because there's a certain type of music she wants to hear that she knows she's not going to get in here. So she's mature enough to say, well, I can get it in my truck. I don't have to have somebody, I got it. And then I come in because you're my shepherd. I want to hear what you got to say. I thought, oh, you're so next level. That's so next level, rather than somebody saying, well, I'd come there if they glorify the Lord. Oh, I'm so not your pastor. If you don't know by now that my whole life glorifies the Lord, and I don't need to have everything I do glorifies the Lord, including singing, I'll be there. How does that glorify the Lord? Because the Lord loves that song. He told me he loves all the original Jackson 5. ABC, I Want You Back, all of it. The entire catalog. All right, let's wrap this up. This is a quote by this person. I'm going to end on this, and this is simple and to the point, but this is it, baby. Celebrate what you want to see more of. That's it. If you're cursing what you don't like, you're missing the point. What you resist is going to persist. So if you keep talking about, I just wish this wasn't in my life, all you're going to do is aggravate that thing. You're going to pick at that scab and make those things worse than they already are. So instead, celebrate what you want. Celebrate what you like. See the glass half full. Whatever things are true and honest and just and pure and lovely and of a good report, if there be any virtue, if there be anything worthy of praise, think on these things. I'm not saying to deny reality. Some of y'all got serious stuff going on. I mean, I'm very aware of situations in your life because I hear from people during the week. I know that. Richard's got a situation with his dad. I know what Claudia's going through. I know so many of you. I know your situations. What I will tell you is celebrate what you want to see more. I'm not saying deny reality. We all got to take care of reality. But whatever you praise in your life, you attract more things. So if one relationship's not working the way you want, then find, it's Christmas. I told Ken this, we're working out our schedule and everything. I said, you know what? I just want to do everything this year. Anybody that invites me to any part, the answer is yes. I'm just going to go. I want to go here. I want to go see everything. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to see the Nutcracker, but I want to see pretty much everything. Like, I mean, I like the Nut. Oh yeah. Maybe the hip hop Nutcracker. I don't know, but I'm just saying. I just want to enjoy, instead of sitting around going, I can't believe it's Christmas again. Like, shut up! It's Christmas. Enjoy it. Get into it. Oh, thou spirit of Grinch! Yay! Come out. Let's all stand. Oh, Lord. Can I get an usher to separate these two, please? Thought I told you never to let them sit together. All right. I'm going to show. We have a new contribution thing for if you're making a check, make it to JESM, and Danny will be back there to take that. As soon as we're through here, if as many of you guys can pitch in and help Ken with the tear down, he would really appreciate it, and I would appreciate it. And then all we're going to do is we're walking next door to Opry DM, go back there to the lounge if you've never been there. It always works out capacity wise. So however many goes, it'll be fine. You can order. They're total. We've done this a zillion times. They're totally good at it. They come and take those orders and get them out to you. You don't have to order anything. If you just want to sit there, if you want to order a drink, if you want to order a cup of coffee, we were going to do a menu, but it's too much hassle. I like easy peasy. So I'm going with this. You can get what you want. But we are going to talk about what we're grateful for, and it's going to be a great time. So even if you just come for a few minutes, that'll be great. Please remain standing. I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to speak a blessing over you.
Contributing to Metron is quick and easy. Simply text the amount you would like to give to 404-620-5044. And now you can give anytime by texting this number. You will then receive a one-time registration form that links your phone number and opens your account at SimpleGive. Complete the form, and you will then receive a successful registration and donation page. For additional information on your account, visit bishandthenow.com and click the Support tab. Then, My Online Donation. When you contribute to Metron, you're also supporting the charity or organization of the month. Thank you for your investment in Metron.
Isn't that cool? Jonah did our intro and outro. He did an excellent job. I'm very, very pleased. My children are so talented. Bishop, you brag about your children all the time. What's your point? You ought to be bragging about yours. That's what's wrong with yours. You didn't brag on them enough. You got to make up for lost time. So instead of complaining about what you don't like about them, which you've probably already told them 1,000 times, they already know you don't like that. Why don't you go tell them what you do like about them? Oh, did I just prophesy to somebody? It got real quiet there, didn't it? My grandmother Addie may say it's a poor rooster that won't crow for his own barnyard. So you got to, whatever your barnyard is, thank you. Oh, Jesus. You can't reprimand them. It just makes them worse. It only eggs them on. So I'm good. I am grateful. You're going to have an excellent day. Good night's sleep tonight. Those of you that are traveling this week for the holidays, you're blessed when you come in. You're blessed when you go out. The angel of the Lord encamps around about you to keep you in all of your ways. Have a blessed Thanksgiving. Whoever you're with and under whatever circumstances, you have so much to be thankful for. So remember that, whether you do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or every day. Celebrate however you want to, whatever brings you joy. I speak peace in your families, peace in your relationships. We speak peace to our world today. We're not oblivious to all that's going on, but we do believe that light is going to win over darkness, and we're not going to live in fear, and we're going to believe that God's got us and that we're protected. You're going to have success and prosperity this week. You're beautiful, you're smart, you're attractive, you're successful, you're intelligent. Good things are coming to you, and you wake up tomorrow saying, this is the day that the Lord is enabled to me to make. I will rejoice and be glad in it. God bless you. Go in peace. Come help with the tear down, and we'll see you over at Opry Diem in a few minutes.